Hi, thank you so much for joining this month's swipe section of February 2025. We'll be talking about successful community partnerships and the importance that these play on our school food security efforts and impacting our students. If this is your first swipe session, my name is Candace Davis. I'm the Network Community Manager at Swipe Out Hunger. I sit in Houston, Texas, and I'm so grateful to lead these calls and bringing fresh content that hopefully improves your programs on campus. What to look forward to today, we're going to kick off with some welcomes and introductions and meet the three schools that have so graciously offered to share their experiences and information today. We'll then hear their stories of impact. We'll finish off with the opportunity to ask them a few questions, um, whatever comes up that might be helpful to your campus. We'll hear a little bit about the spring resources that are expected for all of our campuses the rest of this school year, and then chat about what's next, what you can expect from the March swipe session. So as I mentioned, we'll have three schools sharing their experiences today. We're so grateful to have them. First, we'll hear from University of Texas at Dallas and the Comet Cupboard, and they'll be talking a little bit about a partnership that they had with their local food bank. We'll then be hearing from Prince George's Community College in the L Market and a really cool, exciting partnership that they have with local farmers. And we'll be closing with words from Missouri Southern State University, where they'll be sharing about their Groceries to Graduate program. This is a food scholarship program partnered with their local farmers market.
And then we were started to open back up again. And so it was during this time that we continued to serve students. But this is when we really got on the radar. So not just at our university, but also with our external community. So one important piece that impacted our situation was that we had a member of the University of Texas Dallas administrative staff at some point made the professional move to go over to the North Texas Food Bank, which is our regional food bank. That's Tyler's area to talk about the scope of the North Texas Food Bank, but it's kind of a big deal up in our part of the state. And so we had this individual who transitioned from UT Dallas over to the North Texas Food Bank, and during the pandemic reached out to us and said, "Hey, we want to explore a community partnership with you." Strategically, the North Texas Food Bank's headquarters is about a mile and a half from the UT Dallas campus. So we've always known that they were there. And it was always a partnership that we aspired to at the Comic Cupboard. But again, it was a little hard to get the leverage to make that connection without a good amount of university administrative support. We were just kind of keeping the doors open. And so having this person to be able to step over and bridge that gap for us was good. Another challenge that we had faced prior to the pandemic was that the North Texas Food Bank just doesn't partner with just anybody who wants to partner with them. That makes sense. They're an organization, they have standards. And so they kind of had some rules, so to speak, that are some restrictions. I don't know. That's not the right word, but just, some standards. And we weren't able to meet those. One of them, and this was really the biggest piece of it, was that we needed to be our own charitable organization, our own 501(c)(3) designation. And we did not have that as a service. And so what the North Texas Food Bank was able to do during that time in the pandemic was not bend the rules. I don't want to say that's what happened, but they were a little more flexible in how they approached external partnerships with some of the smaller food pantries in order to be able to meet the food insecurity needs specifically during the pandemic in the DFW community. And so what we were able to do is kind of work together between them reaching out to us. They got somehow our university's development office started to see, because we were one of the few services that continued to operate on campus during the pandemic. our service was able to get on our university's development and alumni relations radar a little more heavily. So that was another strategic partnership that that came in. Both of these, all of these factors came together at the same time inside the pandemic. So it was one of the few silver linings in the pandemic, particularly for the comic cupboard, and that we were finally able to secure this partnership. And the university was willing to let us be kind of swept up under their um, charitable organization or nonprofit status. That was now fine with the North Texas Food Bank that we do it that way. And we were able to check that last little box that had kind of been keeping us, it had been a bit of an obstacle that had been keeping us from partnering. So we got that formalized and on paper towards the end of the big pandemic shutdown. And now we have a full throttle partnership with them. And Belle and Tyler are going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. But it has been a game changer for us. We are able to, we're still struggling to meet the needs of all the students there, but I know that you can all relate to that as well. But this partnership has been critical in helping us at least get to this point, and we're now at a really amazing growth point in our development. We have some really cool stuff, so I'm going to hand that over to Belle and then over to Tyler to kind of fill that out a little bit more. But anyway, I told the story, so now Belle's going to tell you how we do it.
Thank you, Hillary. This is my favorite part. Just in case you didn't know, I am a numbers person, so you can see all these numbers here. So with that partnership came the capacity building grant. So with this grant funded by the North Texas Food Bank, we're able to basically move into a new space, acquire a fridge and freezer, large commercial grade fridge and freezer, expand our shelving sizes, expand the number of volunteers we have in there to increase the speed of the service, have a larger doorway to accommodate a whole pallet of food in there, rubberized flooring, some technology upgrade. Mainly, we put a big TV in there so that we can have a more immersive volunteer training experience. So you can see we went from like having this awesome partnership with the North Texas Food Bank to really being able to explore all of the different things that they have to offer. We talked about starting this partnership at the beginning of the pandemic, but we really weren't able to really fully utilize this partnership until recently, with the bigger space, with the capacity for fridge and refrigerate and freezer, we were able to get all of this food. A lot of it comes in a big pallet, right? So if you have a smaller space, you can imagine how hard that is. So through weekly deliveries from the North Texas Food Bank, we're able to have pounds and pounds of fresh and frozen produce coming through us. And you can see those numbers over here, as well as, increasing our volunteer engagement. So you can see that we have a little bit less volunteer last year, but that's because each one of them are so engaged with the process that they ended up giving more hours to the cause. Next slide. So here are some pictures that we have of our current food, current pantry. So every time we get a delivery from the food bank, this is how our fridge looks like. Jugs of milk. It's full and we love it. And students are there. We love the fresh produce part. This is a big thing that we've noticed our students asking for is a lot of fresh produce. So we're able to receive a lot of that through this partnership. And I want to share, I want to give Tyler some space to share what other things the North Texas Food Bank has been able to do, not directly with us, but also helping us fight food insecurity on campus. Tyler, you want to take over?
But our organization oversees a lot of different partnerships. So currently, right now, we are within a 12-county span, and that's Tyler, I'm so sorry. You're very, very quiet. I know some folks are
Oh,
putting that in the chat. Oh, there, better.
can you hear
Perfect.
me?
Yes, thank you.
Love technology. Okay, so I want to start back with I work with the North Texas Food Bank, and we oversee about 12 different counties, which includes 500 different partnerships, and that is through a plethora of different ways. We have our direct partnerships with community members that lead local organizations, local nonprofits or churches, as well as through our direct partnerships in the programs that we offer, which include senior service. So that's a senior opportunity to feed individuals that are 60 and above, plus our nutrition education courses, as well as our child programs that we house here. So my role in particular is supporting all the wonderful work that UTD does already. And I oversee our school pantry program here in particular that houses our college hunger initiatives. So as of right now, we have over 43 partnerships with educational facilities, spanning from elementary schools to high schools, and 18 of those partnerships are actually colleges. So our mission here is just to create a hunger-free North Texas through providing pathways of access to nutritious foods. And we couldn't do that without other passionate individuals and organizations like UTD. So at NTFB, we believe in providing that full holistic care to our community partnerships. So we do that not only through providing food, but also providing opportunities for things that are non-food based. So we do that through our SNAP team that does work to provide assistance for direct support for that application process for government-based benefits. We also have our nutrition education team that's full of specialists that go out to educate individuals on opportunities on how to use the actual produce and things that they're receiving, plus the mindset of financial capacity. And then also our gardening education-based team who partners through different gardens across our network. I do want to say that UTD has been a great partner in fully accessing those opportunities to benefit the student success. So for us, we have two main other programs that are being offered at that campus. So our nutrition ed team goes out there to provide those cooking demos as well as that nutrition-based learning. So it's giving college students the opportunity to go through that curriculum and understand, okay, these are the produce and the nutrients that it provides. So how do I cook that now? Because as we see, a lot of college students now don't necessarily have access to ovens, stoves. Most of their stuff is now microwaves. And so receiving a potato is not always the best route. So we have people that are dedicated to providing opportunities to build up recipes that fit the needs of the students. Within this course load, we also partnered together with the money management system of UTD, which sort of beefs up that curriculum by adding opportunities to address financial capacity of students, understanding that they don't always have access to funding to go buy other products. So how do we leverage the great partnerships with the pantries in order to make sure that they are aware of how to stretch their dollar? And this just helps the students to identify what they have access to and how to make sure that they're living and experiencing healthy lifestyles all around. And then we also have the two partnerships with our garden specialists over at the UTD campus. This houses not only the Eco Hub, which is the Luna Farm, but also the community garden that UTD has there. So they are going above and beyond with two different garden partnerships. The community garden itself focuses on more of the public aspect of the community. So these are individuals that are not necessarily involved with the UTD campus. These are the people that live around the campus that may not necessarily have a student going there. And they are offered opportunities to volunteer on a weekly basis, just learning basic tips about gardening. So it's very beginner friendly. The community garden itself hosts about 20 individual plots, a greenhouse, a shed, pollinator gardens, and all of this is operated by the student volunteerism team at UTD. And then we have also within that partnership of the community garden, they're able to host specialized events for Earth Week and homelessness awareness and student well-being events. That secondary partnership that we have in our garden partnerships is the Luna Farm at EcoHub. And so this is run for students by students, although it is housed by the Office of Sustainability. There are two student leaders that build up opportunities for students, faculty, and staff to come in to get regular volunteer hours to learn different gardening tips, but they also have formal educational components for basic gardening topics such as seasonal planning, composting, harvesting, and plenty more opportunities there. I would like to call out with both of these partnerships, they do well in providing produce on a monthly basis to the Comet Cupboard. So they're able to provide this through their extensive sustainability practice and solutions. And a large goal for them is to produce culturally familiar produce for the pantry at UTD. I would like to call out that UTD has one of the largest international student populations. So that is a big thing for us here is meeting the needs for people at the right time. And that also means providing produce that makes sense for those individuals as well. All right.
Belle, you're muted.
Sorry, just wanted to mention one last thing that we are getting ready to launch our mobile food pantry. And this also helps us with, moving the food pantry closer to where students are living, but also utilize the retail program through the North Texas Food Bank to get us, to be able to directly pick up donations from local grocery stores. So that's what we have in stores for the upcoming fall semester.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all so much for sharing. I know there's going to be questions. We'll save them for the end so we can hear everything and we'll do that. But Belle, Hillary, Tyler, thank you. I love to hear how our food banks are helping campuses, and especially highlighting the depth in which y'all are supporting the campus. Thank you very much for that. At this point, we are going to invite Dr. Danielle Lashar Bryant to join us and share a little bit about what's happening at the Owl Market at Prince George's Community College. So, Dr. Bryant, let me pull that up for you.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Make your world a little easier,
All
hopefully.
right. Oh, you just did.
And we're set to go.
All right. Very good. Well, good afternoon, everyone. As Candace indicated, I am Dr. Bryant. I'm the program director for our Wellness and Mental Health Center at Prince George's Community College. We're located in Largo, Maryland, which is in Prince George's County. As I look out of my window right now, we are expecting 6 inches of snow. We've been dismissed early, and so I'm glad that you all are on California time, or else I would have had to cancel. So this really worked out well. Located in Prince George's County, Maryland, for those of you who do not know, it is the second affluent minority community in the nation, which means you'd think that among all of these beautiful homes and manicured lawns and gardens that we have, that food insecurity would not be an issue. However, just as Tyler talked about the involvement of the North Texas Capital Area Food Bank, we also have a partnership here with our Capital Area Food Bank. And our Capital Area Food Bank, they are very involved in doing research. One of the things that one of the research findings that they showed recently was that 51% of the individuals within Prince George's County identify as food insecure. That in a county where the average household income is around 95 a year. So our students are reflecting that food insecurity. And just as my predecessors talked about, the institution has to be willing to face that, I really have to say that I feel greatly supported by Prince George's County in doing this work. They opened the OWL Market in August of 2022. They did a needs survey and found that students were needing help in a lot of different areas. And so slowly we rolled out our food pantry in partnership with our Capital Area Food Bank. They gave us seed money in the form of grant, and they're still giving us grants. I mean, we have to work for them, but you know, you have to do something, right? And so we're able to um, open up our OWL Market. We don't call it a food pantry. We call it our OWL Market, and that is deliberate so that we destigmatize the idea of a food pantry or help-seeking behavior. We want students to feel comfortable and take away the barriers if they in fact need food. I have a president, Dr. Felicia Williams, who told me directly, I believe everyone should eat for free. Huh. Okay. And so we've been given that charge. And at Prince George's Community College, we are a predominantly Black institution, which is designated by the Department of Education, which is still intact. And so because of that, we have a growing student body of minority and international students, which we're proud to say. Our OWL Market functions in 3 areas across the county. The county is very large. And so we have a north, a middle, and a central, and then a southern region as well. It's staffed by our federal work study students. Currently, we have 5 of them, and we have them staffed Monday through Friday throughout the OWL Market hours. We also serve both students and employees. We recently began to serve employees in 2024 out of need and out of asking. They ask, hey, we could use some help. Not everyone has the salary of a tenured professor, right? Or an associate VP. And so we do have employees who regularly shop our OWL Market. It's open daily, Monday through Friday, 11 to 1, sometimes 11 to 2, depending upon staffing. And then we also have an evening component as well on Wednesdays. Our partnerships are with the CAFB, that Capital Area Food Bank, as well as the Ujamaa Collective. I'll speak about that a little more. And our Prince George's Community College PGCC Community Garden. That was started through a grant with AmeriCorps. And so now our students and staff and faculty, both or all, work a plot of land on campus. And I'll speak more about that. Next slide, please, as I begin to tell you about the things that we were able to reap. So the Ujamaa Collective came about through a partnership. And let me back up a little bit. In 2023, the college hosted a, what was it called? A Black Hunger conference or Black Farmers Market Hunger Conference, something along those lines. It was not associated actually with the OWL Market at all. And so I traipse over there because they talked about free food. So, you know, I traipse over there and I started networking. And in networking, I discovered this collective of Black farmers who have a major plot of land in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And they work with the Capital Area Food Bank to provide produce to area organizations. Well, really? Well, how can we be a part of that? Was my question. And so we began to put together some initiatives and we were able to come up with an MOU, and so which is a memorandum of understanding agreement. And so now we have about 5 farmers who come to us every Wednesday. Well, not now because it's snowing, but every Wednesday, and they drop off produce, pounds and pounds of produce. As you see from the slide there, just last year alone, and by last year, starting in March through December, we were able to amass 6,000 pounds of produce from these area farmers. Phenomenal. And you see from the pictures the types of goodies, right, that they have for us. There's a little couple, let's see, to your right, to my left. I call them Uncle Philip and Auntie Jeanette. And they're from Haiti, and they farm like no one's business. They produce okra for us and eggplant and cucumbers, and they're just a dynamo team. And they also have jobs, believe it or not. It's amazing. So they are very instrumental. The other picture where they're wheeling in veggies, that's one of our area partners, Maya. She's from Love Bug Farms, and she brings us a plethora of goodies as well. Then on the end there to your, what is that, to your left, my right, they are from Okalean Farms. Yes. And I'm missing my Sisters of the Soil farmers, but they also help with us as well. So we're grateful to all of the area farmers that we work with. And I see it's a little small, but there's a little letter there, a little love note, if you will, thank you note from one of our staff members. And she's actually in the president's office, so like that. And she just gave us a little shout out in terms of, the greens are good and this is what we're doing with them, and keep up the good work. And as anecdotally, that stuff is great, and it also goes with, next slide, please. It also helps with the type of data that's needed to be able to continue these types of initiatives with our stakeholders. So here I get to talk about the homegrown produce from our community garden. This was started through an AmeriCorps initiative. We received an AmeriCorps member, and she was so instrumental. That's her delivering our first crop of bok choy. And, and so it was wonderful because we have a number of South Asian students and employees, and so it went rather quickly, and there are requests for more. And they also delivered to us those little cherry tomatoes. And just a shout out that the community garden is its own living organism. And proof of that is through its own oh no, I think that's actually through Dean Smith's Instagram page. She is the community advisor for our community garden. And the other woman with her, let's see, who's actually holding the produce, that is our administrative assistant in our Wellness and Mental Health Center, Gwen. So it's a real family affair, if you will. Next slide, please. They donated, as you saw from that slide, 400 pounds of produce to us. So about 6,400 pounds of produce we had last year, and none of it, we gave all of it away. It was phenomenal that, in having that amount of fresh, vulnerable food, that it did not go to waste. It did not go to waste. And so, as we reflect on this year, and I say we because there are other people behind me, just not today, because I'm home. But as we reflect, there's a couple of things that we need to consider. Scheduling logistics, for example. We found out that it's rather difficult to get your shipment of produce and your shipment from the Capital Area Food Bank and also have the store open for shopping. Can't do it. So we've had to make concessions and close the store when we have those types of major shipments. uh, distribution considerations in terms of how do we get everything everywhere. I told you we have 3 campuses. And so with fresh produce, you know, time is of the essence. And so making sure that we're able to meet the demand and the needs, the refrigeration coming into play, being able to write grants for those. Uh, I just received word that we were selected through a grant I wrote. That we were selected to get a community refrigerator. And so that will really allow us not only to service our students and faculty and staff in the Al Market, but also members of our community. And remember, I said in the beginning, 51% of our residents within the community identify as food insecure. And so this can go a long way in helping to mitigate some of that need. In terms of continuous networking, yeah, always looking for the next, right? Always looking for who can help, who has a passion for this work, who has the resources that we don't. And through different types of initiatives like asking, we've been able to ask individuals for, hey, can you donate that scratch and dent freezer? Um, can you donate that old microwave? You know, those types of things. And so we've been able to get some nice quality equipment, shelving and refrigeration through those types of solicitation. And then data collection. That's a biggie. We're trying to see the impact of what we do. I mean, we know the impact of food, right? But we want to know the impact of this on student retention. How is this helping our students continue their educational pursuits? And some of the preliminary data that we're collecting suggests that the students who do visit the Al Market return, have higher GPAs, and also report a greater sense of engagement and belonging. Well, so we're trying to build on that. So data collection is ongoing. So that's the Al Market and at Prince George's Community College. I thank you for your time. As again, I'm Danielle LaShore Bryant, the program director for our Wellness and Mental Health Center, which houses our Al Market, and I appreciate your time and attention today.
Dr. Bryant, thank you so much for sharing that story and in the world we're living in today, how important it is to the folks that are growing our food and what they are offering our communities. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Um, and last up, we're gonna switch over to our friends from Missouri Southern State, and I'm gonna give you all an opportunity to share your screen and bring that up here. Perfect.
Can you all see my slides?
Looks
Okay.
great, Amber.
So hello. Thank you for joining us today to learn about our grocery scholarship program here at Missouri Southern. I'm Amber Carr. I'm one of the 3 co-directors of our Center for Nutrition Security. And along with my colleagues, Dr. Bever, who was unable to join us today, and also Dr. Andrea Cullers, who you will hear from shortly. So I'm just going to start with going over kind of a little bit of our food insecurity in our student population. We have over 55% of our students who identify as food insecure. And of course, some of those factors that contribute to food insecurity are the cost of education, of course, the high cost of living, and also the balance between work and school. So we have a large percentage of our student population that is first generation. So a lot of our students are working either full-time or part-time while they're getting their education, and they may not have that family support as they're going through college either. And of course, as we've talked about, how food insecurity negatively impacts students' ability to focus and prioritize their academics. And we want them, of course, to be successful students. So how can we help mitigate those factors? So of course, there are several approaches that many have talked about today. And we have a food and personal hygiene pantry on campus as well. It's called the Lion Co-op. This began in 2018, and it was initially on the dorm side of campus, and it was in our FEMA shelter. Since then, we have moved into the library, which is been really popular. It's a more welcoming environment, it's less stigmatizing, and our numbers prove it. Previously, in our old location, we served maybe 100 students per semester, and we're currently serving over 100 students per month in our new location. We've also been working to establish a community garden, and I'm really excited to see some of the success stories that we've heard today, because we're hoping that we'll also be one. This took us quite a while to get approved, and we've collaborated with students and also our campus wellness committee to kind of get both student and employee buy-in and cooperation. And so last summer, we built our garden beds. Shortly after, we had some guerrilla gardening. Just one day, all the beds were planted. So we just kind of let it go last summer. And but we've got everything all cleaned up now, and we're ready to roll out this spring after we get the fencing and everything put up, because we do have a wildlife issue. So, but we're really excited to roll that out this spring. And of course, card swipes. This is one that we have talked to our food service on campus, and we have not been able to get this one. It has not been successful yet, but of course, we're going to continue working on that as well. And then, of course, collaborating with our local farmers market for our scholarship program, which is what we're going to talk about today. So in 2020, we collaborated with our local farmers market to provide a groceries scholarship program, and we call it Groceries to Graduate. Initially, we students who have 60 plus credit hours could apply for the scholarship, and that was a number that we decided on because that's a kind of a point in time where a lot of students end up stopping out due to all different kinds of life events. But we really wanted to have something that could step in and really try to get them to that finish line of graduation. So if that was groceries and food insecurity, we thought that this would be a way that we could help mitigate that. So students who met the requirements could apply for the scholarship. Those that were awarded the scholarship then received $200 in 4 monthly. So this semester, each month of the semester, they would receive $50 worth of tokens to the Webb City's Farmers Market. And these can be used for anything at the farmers market, except for our farmers market does have hot meals. So that was excluded in this, but anything else that they're able to use them for. So we had to establish a procedure for the disbursement with the bursar's office. They've been really great to work with, and they're more accessible to students than trying to find a time that one of us can meet up with the students for their disbursement. And they're used to going to the bursars to receive funds anyways, so that seemed like a logical location for that. And then once a month or once a semester, we'll receive our tokens back from the Webb City Farmers Market, which you can see a picture of there. They're very distinguishable because they're a bright yellow color, but they're each worth $1. And then once the bursars receives that invoice, then of course, then we pay for that. And currently, the funding for our scholarships are provided through several mostly local grants, and then also an annual fundraiser, which I will talk about on our next slide. So every year, every spring, we host a Empty Bowls fundraising event. This is a collaborative event held on campus. We have the support from our art department classes and our campus clay club. They're the ones that make the beautiful selection of bowls you see in that top photo. I have started a collection of them, and they're just amazing. Everyone really enjoys getting to pick their own bowl. As you can see, we have great campus and community support through our local businesses. They donate the soup, the bread, even the desserts. And annually, this event raises about $2,000 for the Groceries to Graduate program. And it's the event that campus and the community look forward to each spring. It's been really popular, and we're already starting to plan the one for this spring. It's always an enjoyable time, and it's a great way to get the word out about the scholarship program. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Andrea Kollers.
Thank you, Amber. So I'm just going to go over some of the data that we have collected over the past few years with our scholarships. And we're still kind of finalizing some of the 2024 data. So a lot of this is from 2023. But we awarded 80 scholarships in 2023, similar amounts in 2024. And then we ask our recipients to always complete a survey. And as probably most of you know, that's really hard to get them to do. And so we get about a 30% response rate. Most of our participants in the Grocery to Graduate program are female, white, and living off campus. And we somewhat are intentional about living off campus. A lot of students that live on campus are using the food pantry, and we really wanted to provide a way for students that were wanting to cook more and wanting to shop and prepare their own food an option. And so that's part of what the Groceries to Graduate program is for students that are wanting access to fresh produce and other products that to cook with, have that with this program. As Amber mentioned earlier, we have a lot of first generation students. So about 50% of our recipients are Project Stay, which are students, it's a federal programs for those that are first generation, Pell eligible, and ways that our students have learned about Groceries to Graduate, email, flyer, advisors, Project Stay. So when the respondents of the survey, 83% of them said they had never used the Webb City Farmers Market before. And I think one of the great things about this collaboration is that it's benefiting the students, but it's also benefiting them short term, but also long term. So even once they stop using the program, we hope that they continue using the farmers market. So they're being introduced to the local farmers market. And this is also benefiting the farmers. Our market is year round, and so it brings customers to the market year round, and it's providing new customers to our local farmers. The students respond that the process of picking up tokens is easy. Out of 5 stars, the convenience of Webb City is 4.17. It's a couple of miles up the road. Some students do have challenges with transportation, and I think part of the convenience, or maybe not the most convenient, is that it's open 9 to noon on Saturdays all year round, and then in the summer it's open Thursday evenings and Tuesday mornings. And so, or Tuesday, yes, something like that. But it has expanded hours in the summer months, but it isn't open 24/7 like a local Walmart. So they do have to be more intentional about their shopping. They respond that about half of the time they can get the items that they need at the Webb City Farmers Market. But I do think that it is seasonal. And so a lot of students don't realize that food is at the grocery store. You can get anything and everything year round, and that is not how a farmer's market works. And so one of the things I love about it is you learn to buy and shop and eat with the seasons. And so I think that that is something that is new to most of them. And so I will say that our farmers market always has meat, local meat producers year round, and bread year round, but the produce is seasonal. We live in Missouri, and so it definitely fluctuates with the seasons. Students, and we really do consider this a supplemental program. They still are going to the grocery store to get other things that they may need. About 38% say their groceries, the tokens provide about half of their groceries for the month. And I think most important is that it's increasing their access to nutritious food. So as for those of you that work in food pantries, we try our best to keep, a lot of, dairy, eggs, meat. We partner with our regional food bank, but so much of what is donated is that shelf-stable processed foods. And so being able to provide students with really local, fresh, more nutritious food is really a benefit of this program. And you can see from the graph the foods that are most students are purchasing. So a lot of meat and produce are the highest purchased items. In 2024, we awarded 56 applicants. 73 had applied, but not all of them had enough hours. Again, really, we serve a lot of Pell Grant eligible students. Our students are really working full-time or part-time. We also are serving more international students during this time. We ask about financial need, and 15 of them had an estimated family contribution of 0. And we also don't limit this. So if students, we do try to assist first-time applicants first, but if we still have money and people have applied, and they can get the scholarship more than once. So 19 of those from 2023 also received the scholarship in 2024. Again, some of the challenges, the limited hours of operation of the Webb City Farmers Market. Sometimes some students have issues with transportation. They have to round up. The tokens are $1, and so they either have to, pay the extra quarter or round up. And you don't really know what's going to be there until you're there. And so, and this time of year, it's greens and root vegetables. And so getting used to buying with the seasons and cooking with the seasons can be a challenge for students. So solutions to that, we're expanding our partnerships to some other local farmers markets. The Sunshine Trolley, our public transportation system, was closed for 2 years and just reopened. We have looked at offering 50-cent tokens. And then working with our library and Amber, doing education on meal planning, food preservation, how to cook more seasonally. So offering that nutrition education message. This is just some feedback from our participants. They're appreciative. It relieves their stress about food insecurity, allows them to have access to more food. So we wish we could get more responses from the survey. We do feel that this program does help reduce food insecurity in our population and improve access to healthier, more nutritious food. And we really like that partnership with the farmers market, and that it's benefiting our small local farms as well, and it's stimulating our local economy. We are going to be increasing some access to sophomores and expanding to other markets in the area as well, as I mentioned. And our contact information. So I'll pass it over to Candace. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Dr. Kohlers. As promised, we had a lot of dense content and we've taken ourselves all the way to the time, which happens from here and there. If you have questions or have more questions that you'd like to have answered from our team today, please drop them in the chat. I'll be sure to stay on for a moment and collect those, and we can send those out in the wrap-up call. But I just have to highlight how wonderful I find the Groceries to Graduate program, giving students the purchasing power to select what meets their dietary needs or wants. I know that that's a great resource, and I'm glad to see that y'all were able to create a program that allowed students to have that power. So thank y'all for sharing it so much. And then I'm going to quickly, Amber, take over the screen share really fast, just so you know. And I know we're jumping off here, but want to make sure that anyone who's sticking with us through the spring knows about these great resources coming up. So we do have our BIPOC affinity group where folks that would like to collect with other BIPOC members in our community to talk about experiences and have a supportive space. We do meet monthly, and the next meeting is on Thursday, so it's not too late to sign up. We have an interest form. Again, the slides are going to be available, so you'll be able to click in there and grab the opportunity to sign up for that. Want to make sure that all of y'all know for yourselves and for your students that our annual Student Leadership Summit is coming up, and it will be on February 25th. So it's time for students to RSVP. This is planned by student leaders in our community, and they'll be leading conversations across the network. Everyone's been participating. Thank you so much in collecting survey data about programs on campuses. The dashboard has been released. It can be found at swipehunger.org. And on March 19th, we'll be having a conversation in our town hall to talk about our learnings, what we're finding out from you all about the network, but also about how campuses are supporting their students nationwide. I think it's a really critical conversation about what's happening today and what needs to happen tomorrow. So we'd love for y'all to join that. And then don't forget, we have guides, toolkits, one-on-one consulting. We're still taking calls and resources that you can jump in on. And the last thing I'll highlight is we have our Slack. We'll be able to answer questions, share the slide deck on Slack. Join us there. And we'll be gathering again on March 11th for our March Swipe session, where we'll be talking about grant writing. I know this is a big one. Everyone's looking for more ways to fund your programs. So powering campus food security programs with grant writing. And we'll even have a new resource coming out around this topic, along with potential grants that y'all can apply for. So join us then on March 11th. Thank you again for staying on a few minutes after. We really appreciate it. And as you leave this call, you'll have an opportunity to give us a survey about the experience today. Your feedback really helps us and helps us know what topics you'd like to hear in the future. Thank you all again, and thank you so much to the campuses and speakers who joined us and shared your experiences.